I posted a question in my WhatsApp healing community where I asked, like, do men really realize that this woman is hurting herself and she's trying to fix things? And I got a variety of answers, and some of them are really interesting. But here's how I view the situation. So, first of all, letting you know, does any man realize this way? The answer is a straight no. There are certain things that happen unconsciously when you are trying to hurt yourself or trying too hard to fix things. There are four things, by the way, that happen when you are trying too hard to fix things while the other party is breaking things. Number one is that you start playing victim, and that happens unconsciously. Why? Because, of course, when you're trying to mend things and the other person is breaking, now you would like to make him realize that you're suffering because of him. And you still continue doing it because somehow you're trying to show how much you love this person while he's breaking things. So you're trying to play as a victim in this role because somewhere you want to receive that attention from him while playing the victim, and that never helps. And I'll be telling you why that's not helping in a few minutes. So the number second thing that happens unconsciously as you're trying hard to fix things is that you're trying to give them more of what they don't need. So I asked one of my clients a question that, let's suppose you are giving your daughter two burgers and she wants only one. While it is coming from your intention of love and you want to give love to her, but she can only digest one burger. So what's going to happen? And she says that, yeah, she's going to be hating me in response, and at the same time, it's going to be harming her because she will be vomiting. So that is exactly what happens when you're trying to give, and give when the other person is not at the threshold of receiving. So it's sometimes anti-respect. You are trying to give them something, even if you think it is beneficial for them, but they are getting repelled by that because they're not ready to take that. Their body is not ready to take that burger, and at the same time, in the same way, their mind is not ready to take all that love that is coming from you for the reasons that are specific to them. So you got to respect their reasons and whoever they are and whatever they are not accepting. All right. So now it leads to the next step, which is that resentment starts building up inside of you. You start getting angry. And then unconsciously, you would go into the pattern of trying to lash out in anger and trying to question the man. Why is he not realizing? And then again, starting the cycle of playing victim and trying to make him realize, trying to cry and scream in front of him to get his attention. These are all non-healthy behaviors, and these are also always coming when you are wounded feminine. So the next step that happens is guilt tripping. So when you're guilt tripping someone, of course you would have this urge to guilt trip because you would feel that you have done so much, you have done more than you were asked for, and that person is still not acknowledging your efforts. So you would try to guilt trip and you would try to make that person bad in their own eyes. And how it's going to affect that person? They're going to be thinking, well, I never asked for these favors. I was reluctant to receive all of these favors in the first place. I was trying to break things, and she was the one who was trying to mend things. And now she is guilt tripping me because I did not mend things when it was my decision to break things. So you are giving more than what they are able to receive, and then guilt tripping them for not being able to receive what you're trying to give. You make sense of it, right? So these are the things that happen when you're trying hard to fix things by hurting yourself, and automatically it's going to hurt you, it's going to hurt them as well because it's like anti-respect. So, like, what are the things that the man feels when you're doing all of these for? So starting again from playing victim. So, of course, when you're playing victim, when you're crying, and when you're making him realize that I'm crying because of you, you have hurt me so much, and I'm trying to mend things, I'm crying because of you, he's going to be feeling not enough. He's going to be feeling, well, I've done so many things in the past for her. And even if I'm breaking this relationship now, I've done so many things in the past. And she's not acknowledging any of that. She doesn't care about me. I'm not enough in front of her. So what I need to do is that I need to shut myself away. I need to just simply close myself in a box and work on my achievements and things that are in front of me, because I just don't want to face the pain, because she's consistently making me realize how I'm not a good person. All right, so that's how playing victim is again not working in your favor. So the second one is that when you're trying to give them more, of course they're gonna be feeling overwhelmed. When you're trying to give them more than what they can actually take, they're gonna be feeling overwhelmed. That I'm not ready for this. I don't know how to absorb this. I'm feeling bad. I'm feeling the shit. I'm feeling like a bad person because she's giving me so much and I don't have enough to give. I can't give. So what they're going to be doing is that they're going to be trying hard to close the gates, close the floodgates, and they would just get further pulled away and focus their energies on something else, even if a part of them does realize that you're a good woman and you're just trying to make things work, but they won't be able to process so much of the flood coming from your side. It will be overwhelming. Maybe it's coming in the form of long messages, it's coming in the form of a lot of complaints, it's coming in the form of a lot of crying and hurtful messages, and then I love you messages. So it's just a mess, and they're going to be feeling that I feel so controlled in this situation. So what they're going to be doing is that focusing entirely on things apart from you. Anything that's apart from you, they would just go into that. All right. Then comes the resentment. Of course, when you are feeling resentful, you're going to be hurting them, and they're going to be feeling that and hurt and wounded for things that they have already said no to, but they're still coming to them. So it would be a forced love from your side. So it's going to be hurting them a lot, even though you might be thinking, well, you're just trying to fix things. No, you're also taking full part in trying to break things. So that's where you got to acknowledge your responsibility in terms of what you are doing to break the relationship. You're giving people more than what they can absorb, and then guilt tripping them, abusing them, and hurting them, and even hurting their privacy and their space. So the last part, of course, again, when you will be guilt tripping them, they're going to be feeling that I'm not enough. I'm not able to provide for this woman. And this is like, just as a woman's heart is sensitive, a man's ego is very sensitive. So that's against the man's ego. He's just going to be feeling that I'm not at all enough. And I need to further focus on some things where I feel enough. Okay, so all the things that you are doing till now to fix the relationship are anti-relationship. Okay, they are actually leading you to break things by your own hands, and you don't want to see the part that you are doing in terms of this whole thing. Now this doesn't mean that the man is perfect. No, he might not be perfect, but how you're communicating things to him is making all the difference. So right now you're communicating in the form of fixing and mending and controlling and resenting and guilt tripping, playing victim. All of these things are just, gathering, and they are making this mess even a huge one. Okay. So the thing that you need to reflect on is what is making you hurt yourself in order to get their attention. Now, this is also coming from a number of unconscious reasons, and most common of these are that women, most of them, they love to get attention by even playing victim. Like even when they're playing victim, they just love to get that apology, they love to get that sorry, and that love for this attention keeps them in the loop of trying to play victim, trying to make him realize that he is hurt so that he can come back and apologize. So stop wanting apology, start wanting healthy relationship. Okay, your relationship should not be needing more apologies, rather it should be needing more love and more expression and more commitment. And you have to stop focusing on the apology if you really want to work on the relationship. So, and there are a lot of women who come to me there who are just so focused on just seeking apology. He has not apologized, he has not apologized, he did that, he did that. And I say to them one thing: even if he's not apologizing, is he changing his attitude? And they say yes, he is slowly changing his attitude, but I want that apology. Well, when you're stuck in just past and wanting just an apology, while he, in his mind, is also trying to change himself and change his attitude around your boundaries, when you're setting the healthy boundaries, when he's trying to change himself and his attitude around your boundaries, of course he is acting responsible. So your goal is not getting an apology and a remorse and he, feeling so bad about himself. Rather, your goal is that you get that love and that responsibility back. Okay, you're watching a more responsible version of him where he is acknowledging his flaws, even if not verbally, but he's working on those. Okay, and you're seeing the difference. That is what you want. That is your ideal outcome. So do not deviate from your ideal outcome. Do not just want an apology. Rather, it's good to have an apology, of course, when someone is doing the bad thing, the wrong thing. You deserve to receive the apology, but that's not the only thing. So stop playing victim so that you can get that apology. Now, the other reason could be, of course, childhood traumas, because somewhere you feel that you gotta struggle hard to receive love. So there was a client of mine, and once I took her into hypnosis, she she got into a very troublesome memory with her mom. Like her mom was maybe her mom was breastfeeding the little baby, the brother she had, and she was feeling the need for her attention. So what she did was that she jumped off the staircase to hurt herself so that her mom can realize that my this daughter also needs attention. She was not able to verbally pronounce it, rather she did self-harm in order to get the attention. So this was the pattern that was duplicated in her current relationship. And that's what we worked on. Once we worked on those parts, she stopped trying to play victim, stopped trying to make him realize that he's causing pain. Rather, she started taking responsibility of her pain and started communicating that this is what I want from the relationship. And turns out he was not the right person for her, and she realized, and she is able to break herself free from the trauma bond. So this is what happens when you start healing yourself. Healing is sometimes it's very complex, but once you are in this whole protocol, once you're in this whole procedure with me, that is where we start opening one by one all of your wounds, and it becomes very easy to process all the wounds that are still haunting you. All right, so you gotta change all your approach towards men. Instead of having resentment, instead of thinking that men are that, men are toxic, men are this, you don't even have to settle for toxic people so that you have to make them realize. Rather, you know just get into yourself, and you're gonna find that reflection into people around you. Even if it's your current husband, you're gonna find him changing, because your self-concept is the number one thing that gets reflected into people, and they're going to be getting that at an energetic level, and you can't even fake it. You can't fake self-concept. You will always be reflecting your identity into the other person and how they are treating you. So whenever you see chaos in your environment, you just have to go into here and reflect what mental diet have you been giving to yourself, that you are now seeing this reality which is so toxic for you, and how people are viewing you. A part of you is viewing yourself like this. You got to change that, and you got to act more responsible around your pain so that you can draw boundaries and communicate effectively on time, instead of going down the road of toxicity this way.